So now let's start our second question. The second question is pretty similar with the first question. It's about your view and understanding of what a spiritual guide is, or some people will call it spiritual guardian. From what I understand, spiritual guides are different from higher self, and there can be many spiritual guides in a person's life. And the number of spiritual guides will vary according to where the person is at in their life stage. So Wendy, can you explain what's your understanding of spiritual guide and whether this is the same as spiritual protectors, which in Chinese, we are more familiar the spiritual protector as the name of Hufa in Chinese. So what do you think about that?
Yes, I would agree with that. The spiritual guardians are very protective of the essence of your soul, and they connect very strongly to the energy of the soul of the individual. And they connect differently to angels and connect differently to higher self. And it is very much a connection that links into past life experience, which you often find that when I'm doing a spiritual guardian drawing, there is a specific culture of reference that will come forward and will explain a part of the journey and to give acknowledgement of how that framework is working within them at that point in time, so that it has relevance to where they are and their emotional energy in that aspect of their life right now.
Okay, so you mean that, well, spiritual guide and spiritual protector, they are the same. And spiritual guides, they are more like our mates, friends, families, or even teachers that are spirits that lived with us in our past life, that they come back to re-establish the connection with us, right?
That's very, very true.
So we share.
That's how I see it.
So the person and their spiritual guides share the same part of experience in their past life.
That's correct.
Because there's no time in the universe, so they come back. So they come back as spiritual guides to guide us in a higher dimension. Well, they used to be our friends or mates, or teachers, but they come back in that particular form.
Yes.
And then they have their own souls and own wells.
Yes.
Which is different from the other drawings.
Yes.
And come back to help us in this life to go through our life, right?
Exactly. And I think that if we can understand that before we come into this world, we come into this world with a sense of what we want to achieve, what our soul wants to achieve. And so different energies would be set up in order to help us to achieve that, or to help us to understand that a little bit better. So perhaps something that has happened in the past, in a past life experience, will help you to understand what's happening now. And perhaps you could draw on strengths that you have had in the past, or different relationships that you've had in the past, in order to be of benefit in this life experience now.
So basically, we bring back those affinities, those things from our past life to help us more to live happily in this life, right?
Exactly.
So it's more like a relationship coming back.
Yes, a relationship that's coming back that helps you to understand your journey in this life a little bit better.
For instance, like, some people in particular a period of time, people are drawn to a particular culture, for example, Egypt. Like, a period of time, I feel I'm so connected with Egypt, and I see a lot of Egyptian stories.
Yes.
So it means that I have, connections with Egypt cultures, right?
That's correct.
And I may have Egyptian spiritual guides back to that time with me, working with me together.
Yes.
So the spiritual guides will come in that form as well, right?
That's correct. Yes, they would do that, and to be able to share an experience with you that would help you to understand why they're connecting at that particular point in your life experience. Yeah. Perhaps, so for instance, the energy of Egypt was very beautiful space, and there was sometimes a difficulty with enclosed spaces, perhaps.
Oh, yeah,
Okay, because there was also always perhaps a little bit of fear, I think, in a lot of Egyptians' lives, that they would be entombed with.
True.
Yeah.
in a pyramid.
In a pyramid.
Yes.
But it was a way of life. It was what was expected. So, if that person was starting to experience, being enclosed, and that doesn't necessarily mean that it would be an enclosed space, but sometimes we feel enclosed or pressured by, life closing in around us.
Yes.
Yeah. And perhaps then they'd start to feel more of that Egyptian essence. And then if I did the drawing for them, and that Egyptian guide came forward to help them understand, this is what you're experiencing and why.
Well, that's really cool. I have never thought of it before.
Yeah. There's always a reason.
Yeah, so basically one person can have many spiritual guides painting, right? So it's limitless.
It is limitless. It really is just dependent upon, the person's ability to absorb and to expand their own consciousness and their willingness to do so. Yeah.
So everyone is very different, and they can order their spiritual guide painting at any time that suits them best.
Yes.
So in best time, in terms of what's the best time to order a new spiritual guides painting. So you think if they feel the calling from their inside,
yes,
that it is a right time to order a new one, then it will be a good time, right?
Exactly.
And also, just from our previous talk, if they are drawn to a particular cultures,
yes,
or a country or whatever the background, and then they can reconnect. They can order a high spiritual guides drawing and reconnect with
that particular culture. Yes.
Okay, cool. I understand now. We all go through different stage in life, and I think it's also a good idea to order a spiritual guide painting when you reach a certain stage of life to support you through that journey, because that's what I usually do. And for example, when I'm going through a huge change in life, or feel that I'm entering a whole new stage in life, I will always come to you and order a new spiritual guides painting. I think it's another way of ordering.
It is.
Another good timing.
It is good timing. If you're at a crossroads or needing direction in life, often a spiritual guide or an angel or a higher self drawing will actually assist you to come through that part of your experience, that part of your life, and to give more clarity to the journey.
I totally agree, because I see a lot of benefits for myself, when I order a new spiritual guides, and I find it very useful. The messages embedded in the spiritual guide painting are always very timely, providing just the guidance I need at that stage in life. And it's just so amazing. I just see that everything happens in perfect timing.
Beautiful. The timing is really important, I think, in any work that we do, whether it's what we're doing for ourselves or what we're doing for someone else. And it's beautiful to be able to assist people on a journey when they most need it. And, I feel very blessed to be able to do that.
Yeah, I could understand. Helping others is actually helping for ourselves.
Yes.
In other words.
Yeah.
And then when we're helping other people and to see other people to find their true selves, it's a very touching experience.
It is. And often it's wonderful when I actually start doing the channeled messages. Quite often I think to myself, oh, that's interesting. So I go on this beautiful journey when I do every piece of artwork.
Yeah.
And when I sit to do the channeled messages, and I think, oh, that's a wonderful way of looking at something, that's something that I've actually learnt through working with this person, and something I wouldn't have thought of had I not been working with you. So I'm very grateful for the people who actually ask me to do the work for them.
I totally agree, because as a medium, we receive a lot of message for other people. Yeah. And we also study a lot of things from that, because the universe and the higher dimensional beings, they always give us a lot of guidance
Yeah.
or sometimes knowledge that we don't know on Earth.
Yeah.
And that's probably a fun bit of, doing channeling work.
It is. Yeah. It's very beautiful. Keeps you going.